Okay, let's continue with this trial.
A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go along with their plan. And then, to avoid the no accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice.
Yep.
Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
Why? The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same. That was the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Kyoko really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved, but then who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
That's problem numero uno right now.
True killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions and in the end murdered him. In the debates up until now, the way the case has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person who seems to fit. Yep. So easy.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
So I'm the suspicious individual now, am I? I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi. The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit from brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot!
Whoa, wait a minute! Her fucking accent is gone! Are you kidding me? It was an act all along?
Pardonnez-moi.
I don't think she's French.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
Ha! What is it that only Hifumi and Celeste had in common? Encountering the suspicious individual. Yep.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't
Because
it?
they kept making it up.
The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
Whoa!
Sorry.
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
Yep.
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct? And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow, something moving at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor.
Yeah, and then she said she was on
let
the
out
third
a
floor.
blood-curdling scream.
Yep.
And when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Here it is. I saw him, the strange costume man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi in the nurse's office. Yup.
It was to get us to divide into two groups, so that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
Yup, to cover it up.
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Yep, why don't we split into two groups? Yep. Alright.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that, That piercing cry of yours early on.
It was out of character.
That was to signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the 3rd floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead, Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered.
Ah.
You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything, the whole thing was one big act.
Yep, and it all fits.
Tina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kind of sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom.
Yep, so that he could escape.
Wait, then that was...
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed. Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
I have no idea what you mean.
Don't bother trying to deny it. You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that one little slip-up was your undoing.
What are you talking
What
about?
are you talking about?
Why did I start reading that?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're all going to die just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
Then pay attention. Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the 4 of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead.
Ah, she gave it away. She mentioned that he's dead, no one told her.
Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Kikuya said Celeste's comment doesn't make sense, but what is he alluding to? No one had told her that Taka was dead. How did she make a comment to saying that they're both dead?
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around,
Nope.
frightened and confused.
The next statement.
They must be positively elated.
Here it comes.
We are all going to die here.
No.
We are going to die.
Here we go.
Just like those guys died.
Got it.
And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Yep. Look. What? That's correct. Dude, that's bullshit. She said those guys. That's what's so strange.
Shoot!
Bullshit. Fuck that. That's complete bullshit.
All I said was they must really enjoying the sight of us standing around. Right? They must be. We are all going to die here. We are going to die. Just like those guys died. And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange
Oh,
about
maybe
Celeste's
this.
comment?
So strange. Fire that at what she said those guys.
All I
Yep.
said was they must really enjoying the sight of us. They must be. We are all going to die here. We are going to die. Just like.
There we go. It was the opposite order, which makes no sense. It should have worked either way. That's lame. That should have worked either way, in my opinion.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Haha.
Exactly. and we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall. So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
Ah.
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
We got it. It's gonna be the final showdown right now, I bet.
Imaginations?